the phone due to some of the system issues here, but you can text in. You know the text number. Do text in to studio and they'll transfer your question over to us. As you know, the questions can be broad-ranging on Islam. Of course, it's Ramadan, and I'm sure Maulana will be focusing a little bit on that. But certainly any issues you have around fasting, Ramadan, beyond that, if there are other issues, no matter small questions or large, philosophical or jurisprudential, Maulana is here to solve your problems. Welcome to the show. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyidina.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you and bless all our brothers and sisters. And may Allah grant all of them and all of us more and more from the blessings of this month of Ramadan by the blessings of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. We start our program with praying for our Imam. Allahumma ajjil li waliyika al-faraj wal-afiyata wal-nasr. Yes, please.
Maulana, we have, I guess, the first question, really. We might as well go straight in. I have a question focused on Ramadan, and the issue is about itikaf. The question is very simple. Is it okay for a Muslim to perform itikaf at home?
Itikaf at home, there's no itikaf at home at all.
Okay.
In short, itikaf must be at the main masjid, al-masjid al-jami', not only any masjid. But if there is no masjid jami', then any masjid. Itikaf cannot be in the Islamic Center. It cannot be in the Imam Bara. It cannot be in any place at home. No, itikaf must be in the main masjid or any masjid. Unfortunately, in the European countries, including UK, most of our centers are not masjids because the trustees are not sure about the future, because when they make any property as a masjid, it must remain masjid till the day of Qiyamah. But here, most of our centers are centers, and center is flexible. They can replace it, they can sell it and buy another place, bigger place, or whatever. So when the place is not masjid, then it is not for i'tikaf at all. Nowadays, when people are at home, can they do i'tikaf at home? No, it is not i'tikaf. They can do the ibadah of i'tikaf, means reciting, tasbih, namaz, dua, but not with the intention of i'tikaf. Because simply i'tikaf must be, if anyone wants to be in i'tikaf, should be in the main masjid or any masjid.
And just a clarification that itikaf itself, I mean, the Prophet, peace be upon him, did it obviously in Masjid Nabawi, that much I know. But what's the purpose of itikaf, and what are the kind of formal procedures when people do it in the masjid? What are the actual formal ritual necessities and obligations? And you know,
time in which the person comes away from worldly affairs to be involved only in worshipping Allah with fasting, because there is no i'tikaf without fasting. No one can do i'tikaf without fasting. That's why mainly people do i'tikaf in the month of Ramadan, because they are already fasting. I'tikaf aims to make the person concentrate more on spirituality and worshipping Allah and reciting Quran and reciting dua and glorifying Allah and purifying himself. During i'tikaf, fasting is must. During i'tikaf, the person is not allowed to have any sexual act with his wife or with anyone else, of course. Allah. I'tikaf is a worship to promote the spirituality and the link between the servant and his Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Thank you very much, Moulana. That's really clear. Thank you. The next question focuses on fitrana. Basically, somebody said that at home they've got a non-Muslim who lives with them there at their house, and they're asking whether they are obliged to pay for the fitra of that individual who lives with them.
Yes.
Non-Muslim.
Fitra or fitrana is obligatory on every Muslim who is not poor. Any Muslim who is not poor. Not only for him, but for everyone who is under his responsibility financially. How many at home? Children, wife, parents, relatives, workers, if any, Muslims or non-Muslims, even non-Muslims. In this case of your question, if a Muslim has got at home or not at home, anywhere, say, and he has got in his factory, in his company, persons who are working for him, and he is responsible to spend on them. Say a watchman who lives in the factory, and he, the person, the owner, the Muslim, he is responsible of all his expenses. Any person who is under your expenses, you must pay fitra for him as well, even if the person is being man, woman, Muslim, non-Muslim.
Okay.
Even a child, newly born child, if a child was born even say 1 minute before the sunset of the night of Eid, the fitra of that child is obligatory on you if you are the father, or if you are the responsible of spending on the child. If your wife is pregnant, it is recommended, mustahab, to pay fitra for the child who is not yet come, the embryo, who is still in the womb of his mother. Mustahab, not obligatory, but the obligatory is to pay fitra for you and for every person who is under your financial responsibility, whether he is living with you or living somewhere else. Many people live in UK, but they have got persons in, say, Pakistan or other countries whose expenses are paid by the person who lives here in UK. The fitra also is on this person who is in UK, who is responsible financially. The fitra is according to the place where the payer lives. Say, for example, you have got an orphan sponsored by you in Iraq or in India or in Afghanistan or Pakistan or Africa or anywhere. You are the sponsor of a child or a family. You must pay the fitrah for all of them. And how much? According to the place where you live. You live in UK, the fitrah of UK must be paid per person. You cannot say that he lives in India and I'll pay according to India. No.
I see.
You are the payer. You are the fitrah payer. You must calculate according to the place where you live in. Yes, please.
Moulana, just a sort of supplementary, sort of almost a kind of preemptive question to that one. Should it perhaps have been, what is fitra and fitrana, and why do we pay it? What's the kind of, is there a historical kind of context or background to it, or is it just an order given by the Prophet, peace be upon him?
Fitra or fitrana is a compulsory act in Islam when the month of Ramadan ends. And in many books we find that it is a condition for the acceptance of the fast.
Oh.
It is a help to the poor who is receiving the Eid of Fitr. He needs help because Fitra must be paid to the poor. No one is entitled to take Fitra if he is not poor. Fitra is the right of the poor. The wisdom behind it is to help the poor and make the poor celebrate the Eid with his children with something in hand.
Sure.
Yes, please. And the Fitra
Fabulous.
is, we call it Sa'. Sa' means 3 kilograms of what? Of food. Any food. Food which is used by you and your family or by your locality, your community. For example, if you use rice, then 3 kilograms of rice. If you use in your food flour, wheat, bread, then 3 kilograms of bread. If you use dates, then 3 kilograms of dates. So 3 kilograms of food or its value also. I mean, you don't need to pay the food itself. You can pay the value of it for every person, for you, your wife, your children, your mother, your father, all those who are under your financial responsibility. Yes, please. The time of paying the fitrah is from the start of the night of Eid. The night of Eid is the first night of Shawwal. You know, say if we completed 30 days of month of Ramadan, so definitely tomorrow is Eid, because month of Ramadan cannot be more than 30 days. Or if we complete 29 days and moon was sighted, means tomorrow is 1st of Shawwal. Tomorrow is Eid. That night of Eid, we must pay fitrah. And the time of payment of the fitrah goes on till before performing namaz Eid. For any reason, if someone does not perform namaz Eid for any reason, maybe he is far away and or he does not know or whatever, then fitrah can be paid till before the time of Zuhr of the day of Eid. That is the last final time for payment of fitrah. If you don't have in front of you any poor person to receive the fitrah, keep it aside. Keep it aside. But when you keep it aside, you will not be able to change it. Only you can change it if you want to send it somewhere. You know, see, if you live in a place where poor people are there, say you live in a city in the subcontinent, or Afghanistan, or Iraq, or any country where many poor people are there. So you must pay your fitrah and fitrah of your family to the poor of your own area. Don't transfer the fitrah out when there are poor people in your area. But when you live in a country like, say, UK, it is hard in UK to find poor mu'min. Mu'min means believing in Islam and Ahlebait all. Yani Shia Muslim who is poor, who is unable to afford or to get his livelihood. In UK nowadays, it is difficult to find. In this case, then we are allowed to transfer the fitrah abroad to places where poor people live. So you cannot change the fitrah unless you want to send the money. So that's why you can change it, because when you give the money to the bank or to the company of exchange, they will exchange it and give its equivalent in that country. That is permissible.
Great. So as with
one of the conditions of fitrah of the person who gives fitrah, whether he is Syed or not Syed, and the person who receives fitrah, whether he is Syed or not Syed, the rule is this, that the person who gives the fitrah, who pays the fitrah, if he is non-Syed, he is not allowed to give his fitrah to any Syed poor. No, not permissible. If the payer is non-Syed, his fitrah should go to non-Syed. If the payer is a Syed, then his fitrah can be given to Syed as well as non-Syed.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Understood. That's fascinating. Then, Moulana, just continuing this theme of the fitrah, you've answered this question of whether we pay at the same rate. But what is the rate? You say 3 kilos of, say, rice. Can you mix it up? I mean, it sounds pedantic, but as the part of the 3 kilograms you give, can it be a mix of foods, like a little bit of flour, a little bit of rice, and then something else? I don't know, some meat or something like that. Is it possible to do that, or do you just give one item? Is that
usually people pay money? Usually,
right?
it is more practical to pay money. We give the
Yeah,
value.
sure.
In the previous years, it was £5. Maybe this year it might be 5 or 6 pounds per person.
Okay, got it.
And fitra can be, the money of fitra can be used by the poor according to his own need. We don't tell him that you must buy food. No. This is the difference between fitra and fidya or kafara. You know, fidya, a person who is unable to fast permanently,
Yes,
has to pay fidya. Fidya means feeding a poor person per day. That money of fidya cannot be utilized as cash. He cannot buy with it medicine. He cannot buy with it cloth. No. This is only for food. That is fidya. But fitra is free for the poor to use the fitra money according to his need, whatever he needs, whether he wants to buy food or cloth, whatever he wants. Fitra is free for the poor person to use it in any need that he has. Yes, please.
well, that's still one more question I have around this issue of fitra. Say a guest, Moulana, turns up on the night of Eid, and he's just passing through or he's traveling through. Are you obliged to, is it wajib to pay for him as well, or her?
It depends on the guest.
Hmm.
If a guest is coming to just for iftar and going, no. A person who is coming for a short while, just for a meal or a cup of tea and going,
Yes.
no. But if a guest has come to stay with you, even if he said that, oh, I'm here with you, I stay with you for 3 days, then he is staying with you, means he is under your financial responsibility for 3 days. Yes, in that case, his fitra will be on you. If the guest paid his own fitra, then no obligation on you to pay for him if he has already paid his fitra. Say, a father, his sons are also working. One of his sons has paid his own fitra. The father will not be obliged to pay the fitra again. When any person who is under your own sponsorship or financial responsibility, if he pays his fitra, then no more responsibility on you, as fitra has already been paid. Yes, if they didn't pay, of course you are responsible to pay. You should not wait for them. You should not tell them to pay. No, it is obligatory on you. Don't ask them to pay their fitra, because you are responsible to pay for the fitra of yourself and everyone who is under your financial responsibility. Yes,
Okay,
please.
thank you. That was very, very comprehensive. I'm sure there are other questions. People will send them in around the payment of fitra. But what a wonderful range of systems that the Holy Prophet, that Islam, the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. All of these ways of making sure the poor are looked after, whether it's sadaqah, whether it's zakat, or whether it's fitra, fidya.
Question from a sister. She says, my mother is too ill and she cannot fast at all. Can I fast on her behalf after the month of Ramadan? Can I make up for her after the month of Ramadan? The answer, with all our appreciation to your kind feelings as a good daughter, but you will get reward for your intention, inshallah. But no one is allowed to make qada of fasting or prayers on behalf of a living person. No
Okay.
qada of obligatory on behalf of a living person.
But
As
deceased?
far as your mother is alive, she must fast, and if she cannot fast, she must pay fidya, feeding the poor. There is no question of anyone else doing qada on behalf of a living person. We are allowed to do qada on behalf of any person who has departed from this life. Marhum, not a living person. Yes, we can do recommended worship on behalf of living person. Say, for example, I want to go for ziyarat on behalf of my mother. My mother is alive. My father is alive. Yes, you can, because ziyarat is not obligatory. I want to give sadaqah on behalf of my mother or father who are alive. Very good. Do it. But obligatory fast or obligatory namaz cannot be performed as qaza on behalf of a living person. Okay.
Thank you, Moulana. That's
A question.
just another question on fidya.
Yes.
What is the rule on fidya? But if you say missed 10 fasts because of illness during the month of Ramadan, do you have to do you have to pay? How much do you have to pay per fast? And is it not also possible to complete that fast later?
You know, a person who did not fast due to illness is not supposed to pay fidya if he thinks that he will be able to make it up later on as
Right.
qaza.
Okay.
Qaza is enough. No fidya. We say fidya for those who are unable to fast now and in the future as well. They have no hope.
Right.
Say a
It's
very
fully
old
permanent.
person or permanently ill, but a person who is temporarily ill, his days which he missed in fasting must be made up later on as qaza when he is able to fast as qaza.
Excellent. So I had a more of an esoteric question. It's that time of the last 10 days of Ramadan, and we're all told that these are the nights of Qadr. Of course, there are particular nights that are much more likely and seem to be indicated to be the nights of Qadr. But uh, explain to us Laylatul Qadr and its significance in the context of our period of Ramadan and fasting. What does that mean for us?
You know, the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan are the greatest nights of the whole month of Ramadan. According to the authentic narrations, there are two nights which are the most important: the night of 21st and the night of 23rd. We have our Sunni brothers who say that the night of 27th is Laylatul Qadr. That is because of narrations which they have. According to the authentic narrations from Ahlebait, it is either 21st or 23rd. Nevertheless, the nights after 23rd till the end of the month of Ramadan, all are great nights. It is highly recommended to perform ghusl And every night from 20th of the month of Ramadan till the end of the month of Ramadan. For example, tonight means after, say, 1 hour or more, the night will start here in UK. It is the night of 27th. It is highly recommended to perform ghusl. And tomorrow night and the night after, till the end of the month of Ramadan, every night from the 20th till the end. I said in the beginning that in the month of Ramadan, in the beginning of it, from the first night till the 19th, every odd night, first, third, fifth, seventh, 9th, 11th, 13th, 15th, 17th, and 19th, every odd night, it is highly recommended to perform ghusl. But from the night of 20th till the end of the month of Ramadan, every night, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, every night, ghusl is highly recommended.
Moulana, is the ghusl, is it the standard ghusl? Is it the pouring of water and then right and left?
The procedure of ghusl is same. Water to reach the head and face and the neck, then water to reach the whole right side of the body, then whole left side of the body. Ghusl practice is same whether it is recommended ghusl or obligatory ghusl, like ghusl janabat. So ghusl practice is exactly the same. And also it is highly recommended in these remaining nights to insist and beg to Allah to forgive you and your parents and your family and all the mu'mineen. Because if we don't get our sins forgiven in the month of Ramadan, then when can we get it forgiven?
Sure.
There's a hadith.
Well, I'm going to...
Does not get his sins forgiven in the month of Ramadan will not be forgiven unless he goes to Arafat, means Hajj, or Ziyarat of Arafah in Karbala. So it is very important to insist and seek and beg to Allah, Ya Ghafur, Ya Rahim, Ya Arham Ar-Rahimin, to forgive our sins and our parents and our family and all the mu'mineen. Also very important. I'll
Sorry,
continue.
please,
very important
please.
in the remaining days of the month of Ramadan to be sure that your parents are happy with you. Don't let the month go if there's doubt they might not be very happy with you. Be sure that all your relatives are happy with you. All of them. Yes, please.
Well, just a few questions from last week, very quick ones I'll fire at you. First of all, of course, the Eid prayers are usually congregation. No Eid prayers this year, is that right? Or is there a procedure at home that you can do?
Because of the COVID-19 situation, no gatherings are allowed. No congregational prayers. Eid prayers can be performed at home. Eid prayer is not like Jummah. Jummah namaz cannot be performed individually. There's no Jummah namaz individually. In Jummah we pray Dhuhr now because there's no Jummah namaz individually. But Eid prayer can be performed individually. Anyone can pray namaz Eid at home. If he wants to pray with his family, good. If he is alone, he also can perform namaz Eid alone. Yes, please. No doubt, we need to remind ourselves that because of the situation of COVID, Muslims should be very careful not to cause harm to themselves, their families, and others. We are used
Finally,
to, meet our family members, visit them, meet our friends, receive them, visit them. But now, situation is completely different. Don't risk your life and the life of your children, your family, and the life of others. This Eid will be unique between you and your family and Allah. But you can contact your family members, friends, via telephone, via other ways. Nowadays, very easy to meet, and like the FaceTime and like the Zoom and like many programs, you can see them and talk to them. Good, but no real gathering between people, just to avoid the possible danger from the virus of corona. God
Maulana,
forbid.
I'm going to sneak. I'm going to sneak 2-3 minutes now before we end the show, but I have about 4 quick yes/no answers. They're really literally, you could probably just go yes/no on them. But first one
Yes,
is
please.
Salam Maulana. After reciting the Salah, I recite the Kalam-e-Pak with my legs spread out, not in the direction of Qibla. But because I find it painful to sit in the folded leg positions, can I continue like this, or is it better to use a stool or a chair and recite? First one.
You can continue like that. Your sitting position does not harm your reciting, especially in your case if you are suffering from pain in your legs. You can keep your legs in the position which is suitable for you and continue reciting Quran. There is no harm at all. Of course, we have got some etiquette in reciting Quran, that when you recite Quran, face the Qibla, sit in proper way, and don't bend your back on something. But all that is optional, recommended,
Right.
not obligatory. You recite Quran in the way that you can recite.
I've got another quick one. Is it permissible to chew chewing gum while fasting, according to Ayatollah Sistani?
People have misunderstood the matter. Chewing gum is only the gum which does not have any taste at all. Nowadays, it is not available. Maybe if it is available, if you get a gum which has no taste at all, then yes, then nothing should come out from the gum inside your stomach. Yes, please.
So can making a fast due to health conditions and decide, so if someone cannot make a fast due to health conditions and decides to send hadiah, can he split it both ways, half and half with 2 separate families, or does it have to be per family or per head?
No, at least every poor person should have full meal. I cannot give him half meal and half meal. No, every poor person must get full meal. Yes, please.
I'm old. Can I pay fidya while I am alive? I think we might have answered that, but just quickly.
You have to. You have to pay fidya when you are alive. God forbid, if you have got anything qaza on you, you should make a will in which you write that after my departure from this life, I need such and such things to be done for me as qaza on my behalf.
Well, somebody's got a problem. They say, oh, okay, that's wajib. Got it. Final 2. I'm a tea tester in my job. This is my earning. I don't solve. He hasn't been able to solve this problem. Should he just leave the job, or how can he solve this problem? He's a tea tester, Maulana.
What is his job? What is
He's
his
a
job?
tea tester. He tastes tea. It's his job.
Can he taste and spit it out, or he cannot?
I don't know, but I guess, yeah, maybe, I guess, yeah, he's only testing the flavors, isn't he?
And the rules of fasting, testing is permissible, provided
Okay.
that you spit it out.
Got it.
If you want to test and swallow, that is not permissible. That will invalidate your fast. So you can keep on your work as tea tester, test the tea, but don't swallow it. Test it and spit it out.
And final one is a little bit amusing. Final question that is a little bit amusing, and I'll conclude on this, but I have to ask it. Somebody sent it in. An Islamic medicine teacher told me that it's been narrated for him to drink camel urine. Is this true?
Who told him that?
He says an Islamic medicine teacher.
About some people, but we ask about the authenticity. Who told him that, that his condition needs so-and-so? So we need to know the authenticity before we answer.
Sure. Thank you very much, Maulana. Your final conclusion for today's Ramadan show.
All our brothers who are with us today, please, 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 all of you, pray for our Imam Al-Mahdi, who is with us in this earth. And more we do dua for him, more we will get from his dua, and we'll get blessings and nearness to Allah. The reappearance of Imam Al-Mahdi is the solution of all our problems. I must also mention that Al-Quds, which is our holy place, the first Qibla of Muslims, today millions of Muslims are remembering Al-Quds, and we must remember Al-Quds. We will never forget our right in our first Qibla, Al-Quds, and the occupiers, the invaders who are now, for the time being, ruling over Al-Quds, should not think at all that Muslims, the 2 billion Muslims, will forget Quds anytime. And we are sure that Al-Quds will come back and will become free soon, inshallah. Allahumma ajil liwaliyika al-faraj والعافية والنصر واجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره والمستشهدين تحت لوائه. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
Ameen. Maulana, thank you so much for that whirlwind tour of Fitrana and Eid prayers and all sorts of other wonderful knowledge and facts that you've given us. And thank you to the audience for tuning in and watching us on this show. Ultimately,